Hey dudes, what is up? NYK31 here, and what do I have here but APF2K8? And I'm showing my 2012 Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Bit of a bummer, I had to recreate the team, which was pretty easy to do. The biggest pain behind was the recreating the playbooks on offense and defense, but I was inspired to show this team off a little bit, and there'll be a CPU game. The one thing I haven't done this game yet is complete or do the offline season. So I figured, based on well, a video that I was watching and communicating with some F-ball critic that he made regarding attributes and ratings, I figured, why not? And I figured, why not use my Notre Dame Fighting Irish as the theme for the conversation? But anyhow, I want to touch on the conversation that was being had on his video. You can find it on his channel. We're talking about attributes and ratings and differentiation of players and whatnot. And as far as my take on that, I feel like we already have it as far as in Madden, but it's just done in a different way. What do I mean by that? As I'm scrolling through this roster here of my 2012 Notre Dame Fighting Irish, you notice the attributes of the creative players and whatnot. And all the creative players that you create in this game, they're basically blank templates. For example, if you created two gold quarterbacks with no attributes, they'd be the exact same player because they have the same base set of ratings. We don't see the ratings, obviously, but you know, your gold, silver, bronze tier, they start out with a base set of ratings, and then the attributes that you give them serve as modifiers. Let's say that you created, again, two gold quarterbacks and gave them both rocket arms. They'd have the exact same throwing power. When you charge them up, 99 throwing power. Now let's say you gave one rocket arm and the other scrambler, and one rocket arm and the other pocket presence. Then that'll change them a little bit. The scrambler will be able to throw on the run on rollouts and on scrambles out of the pocket better than the guy who has pocket presence. Let's say you tack on rocket arm, scrambler, and quick release on the one guy, and rocket arm, pocket passer, and laser arm on the other. When you charge them up, not only will the pocket passer have 99 arm strength, but you'll also have 99 accuracy. But his release won't be as fast as the quick release guy. So that's how the attributes come into play when you're creating a player. And I say that most of you guys who've played All Pro Football 2K8 know this already, but some people have not. So that's how that works. Now, with the EA game, with Madden, it's obviously numerical based as far as the ratings are concerned. But the attributes are just the same. It's just you don't have a visual icon telling you that. Instead, a good power rusher is going to have a high, power move set. He'll be more apt to be able to do bull rushes and club moves, and he would spin moves, for example. Like my Stephon Tuitt here on this team, he has pass rush bonus and bull rush. All that really means is that when you charge him up, he's going to have a stronger bull rush. That's it. His bull rush is not going to be any more different than anybody else's bull rush otherwise. So, it's, in my opinion, I just feel like it's just two different approaches of doing the same thing. The only difference is that you would see it in this game graphically, or back in Madden 08, you had the icons that showed you a good route running receiver, a good press coverage corner. That really didn't go away. It just is done numerically. So that's how I feel about that. Now let's get into this as far as taking those attributes that you saw that I gave my players and how they'll play out in this game. I modeled this team as, with 11 guys or 11 slots to work with, you only have so much to work with as far as making a team accurate. And I tried to make it as close to the 2012 Notre Dame Fighting Irish as possible. Heavy on the defensive line with Lewis Nix and Stefan Tuitt. You also have a gold Manti Te'o with intangibles attributes, clutch, leadership. He was that kind of intangibles type of player. And ball hawk. Manti Te'o had 7 INTs that season. I believe he led the country in INTs, or tied for the lead. And I've had Prince Shembo with pass rush bonus. He had like 7.5 sacks for them. And in my secondary, I have Zeke Mata with big hit. Generic corners. Notre Dame played a heck of a lot of zone. Didn't really have the type of corners to play, lockdown man coverage on a consistent basis. They played a very bend but don't break style of 3-4, very zone heavy, and that's how I made the playbook. As well as on offense, I have my 2-star offensive lineman, Everett Golson with Scrambler, T.J. Jones, Tyler Eifert is the go-to guy and matchup nightmare, and Theo Riddick as a do everything back. Like their scrambler for Everett Golson on the rollout there is able to get that ball downfield, a little bit wobbly, but he was able to get it there and, get the job done. I got kind of lucky there. I rolled right into a blitz and the back missed it, but, he's able to throw off his back foot and get the ball downfield to Tyler Eifert because he has that scrambler attribute. Now, I think what guys are touching on is finding a way to give video game characters, these virtual players, intangibles. And you can see the game doing that with the player traits. You have the clutch player trait, consistency traits, and you can give a guy pass rush move traits like spin move, bull rush, swim, what have you, as well as high motor. Those kind of things are already in the game. It's just done differently than in this game, for example, as I mentioned earlier. I do like the player traits that the game has. I'm talking about Madden now. The only thing I don't like about it is that with the XP progression, if you're doing an online or offline franchise mode, it's a bit too easy to, accumulate XP for the players and build them up. So what happens is what happens in the online franchises that I'm in, where you get to a point after 3 or 4 seasons where everyone has, a secondary that's 4 deep in corners that have 90-man coverage, for example. Or you just stash a guy on your roster and just hoard XP for him and turn a backup into a superstar. Too easy to do stuff like that. When you combine that with it's too easy to keep teams together and navigate around free agency as far as re-signing guys and whatnot, because no team will be able to afford 4 90-man coverage corners, then you can see how that can cause things to be out of balance after a while. But overall, I feel like the game does a pretty good job as far as implementing the player traits that are in the game. What I don't agree with is that all the players play the same. That's not true at all. I've played mainly online with my Ultimate Team squad, the Jets, the Houston Texans, and the Denver Broncos. Let's get away from Ultimate Team for just a second, but between the Texans, Jets, and Broncos, no, not even close to the same experience with those 3 teams. Not even close. Especially offensively with the Broncos, after having to pull teeth with what the Jets have to work with. And of course, defensively, the Broncos are as thin as a piece of paper. And then with the Ultimate Team thing, and building up my team, pretty much since I began playing Ultimate Team early in the Madden year, no. how good a player is at what they do is naturally going to determine how well they do what they do. Are there a whole heck of a lot of things like signature throwing animations and whatnot in the game? No, there are a few signature throwing animations, but not a whole heck of a lot. Not much in the way of signature running animations. Again, personally, that's not something that I'm really huge on. That's more of an aesthetics thing. I think there are things that are higher on the totem pole than that. But for people who do want those things, yeah, I can see where you would find the game lacking in that regard because there's not a whole heck of a lot of quote unquote signature moves in the game. So that's how I feel about the issue regarding player ratings, attributes, and things of that nature. Let's get to this game here as far as transitioning that discussion into what we're seeing here on the field based on what you saw with the team setup. And, so far so good. This was actually kind of fun. I think I'll actually play out the entire season and post a game or two, maybe even do a little highlight reel. But I'm going up against, in this game, this squad has a pretty decent power offense type of build to it. They have a couple of bronze offensive linemen. They have, Haas at quarterback, Musa Johnson at fullback, decent weapons in Drew Pearson, Todd Christensen, and Roger Craig. Although I was a little bit disappointed in how they used them, especially Roger Craig. They didn't really feature him as a receiver at all, and Roger Craig in this game is a beast of a receiver. And defensively, they're kind of thin. They have Willie Brown in the secondary. I don't believe they have one star front seven player, Mike Golick, a Notre Damer, and I believe that's it. Willie Brown, Mike Golick, and I think they have a star safety or a star linebacker. Maybe wrong. No, just Willie Brown and Golick, from what I can see here. So running the ball should be pretty easy. I have a silver offensive tackle and a bronze guard. Decent back. Tyler Eifert is running around, being uncoverable. So far, you can see the team working it on defense. As you can see, my Manti Te'o and Lewis Nix blow out that run there, making things kind of difficult for them. Lots of zone. Lots and lots of zone. And really, football is football. I transition from one game to the other pretty easily. I mean, cover 3 is going to be cover 3. Always and forever. Same cover 2, cover 4, shallow cross, smash. The pass concepts that I like are in this game as well. The defensive plays are pretty much identical. You can choose pretty much what you want, and there you see Zeke Mata just laying poor Drew Pearson out, but Drew hangs on to the ball. So nothing really changes in that regard. The biggest difference to me, at least, is the game speed and the control mechanics. Boom. Zeke Mata getting his big hit on. And here is just, even though I screw up the pre-snap adjustment, just a perfect call against that particular play where I send in 2 guys on the blitz and be able to get a sack. But as I was saying, the difference between this game and Madden basically for me is game speed. This game plays slower, and control layout. I actually like the pre-snap control layout in this game better as far as being able to make pre-snap defensive adjustments. It's a lot more user-friendly. I can seamlessly shade my secondary one way or the other instead of having to press individual buttons to each individual player to do what I want them to do pre-snap. And there my Theo Riddick got some good blocking and does a good run. Like right here, we got a double arrows concept. able to zip that sucker in there. Probably got away with a little bit of a force, but you know, the nose tackle dropping back there is probably not much of a worry, so that's why I took a chance. And here I'm just going to out-muscle him. Run behind the strength of my offensive line, and there's not a dang thing they can do about it. So I am in control of this sucker in my season opener. Now my defense is back on the field. So what am I going to cook up here? As you'll see, Mr. Riddick's second touchdown of the game. A couple of nice little stutter jukes. So it's the CPU's turn to try to get on the board. And this play here is one of my favorite variations to cover 2 that is in this game. Cover 2 corners. The 2 outside corners are in press man. Everyone else is in Tampa 2. Or cover 2. Tampa 2, and I drop the middle linebacker deep. Unfortunately, the flat is open when you do that. And here is, in Madden, this play is double buzz. This is called key zone. Same play, just different name. And I put a little zone blitz twist. Manti Te'o running deep middle, and he runs with him. So 4th down. Again, I'm easily able to shade the corners inside, bring in double A-gap blitz, and I have no idea how Haas gets that ball off. None whatsoever. Other than the CPU just had to convert that 4th down. Perfect robber coverage there. Again, you know, robber coverage is robber coverage. Doesn't change. Stephen Tuitt brings the pressure. And I just forgot my buttons. Been so long since I've played this game. Forgot which button was SWAT, which button was interception, so I just pressed triangle and I got that animation. Beats a completion. And now I'm going to play some Tampa 2 here on 3rd down. I'm going to hot route Manti Te'o deep. Leverage the corners to the sideline. The slot guy holds his ground, and I will get the INT. So that is my take on the ratings, attributes discussion, and whatnot, and this game here. I wonder how well I can do if I play the entire season out. So anyway, nice little change of pace. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on the commentary and whatnot. Talk to you all later. Peace.